Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Check Me. So let's talk about this Cleveland Browns game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought Cincinnati Bengals came in. I'm sorry. I thought the Browns came in with kind of really figuring out their identity of who they are. First of all, Nick Chubb's a dog. You feed Nick Chubb. That's what you do. Jerome Ford. I think Jerome Ford is from LSU as well. I think he's an LSU guy. Um, you got sorry, he went to Cincinnati, so hometown. You got two guys that like to run the ball. I mean, you ran the ball 40 times. When do you think? Where have you seen a team run the ball 40 times in NFL today? You run the ball 40 times and you beat arguably one of the best teams that teams had that NFL that analysts everyone had in going to the Super Bowl. I did not have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl this year. I think the biggest thing for them, and I'll talk about them, but the biggest thing for them is being able to get Joe Burrow to be better. And I don't think Joe Burrow has really gotten better year over year, and that's a challenge. But what's the DNA? What's the recipe for, or the success recipe for the Browns? Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. The run opens up the pass. And what you saw today, Deshaun Watson, I thought he was good. He made the right decisions. He improvised in the pocket. Though he got sacked 3 times. Though he threw an interception, only threw for 154. He had 29 attempts. This game was a lot closer than what we thought. It wasn't like Cleveland came in and just beat them up. We are surprised that Joe Burrow, had only put up 3 points against the Cleveland. But this Cleveland defense is good. this Cleveland defense is really really good. You got first of all an all-star secondary. You got Grant Delpit, Greg Newsom, Denzel Ward, and a smart guy, Roddy McLeod. You have a smart secondary. I'm talking a secondary that probably this offseason played well together. And I forgot where Newsom went to. I think Newsom, where is he? He's Northwestern. Greg Newsom, Delpit from LSU, Roddy McLeod, a secondary from UVA. He played for the Philadelphia, smart safety. So you have a really good secondary. You don't necessarily see teams with a solid secondary with the solid front four like this. So your front four, you got Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. You have two guys that are going to set the edge. They're gonna really blow things up in the middle. You can't double team both of them. It was a steal for the Browns to get Zadarius Smith. You sacked Joe Burrow 2 times, but look what you do. You get pressures. You get 10 pressures, I think, in the first half. You get 4 tackles for loss. The running game for the Bengals was non-existent. You think that I'm not. You think that it can be able to run the ball with Joe Mixon, which he had a fair game, but that front four for Cleveland is just tough. I love and Denzel Ward put the clamps on Higgins and Jamar Chase. I think that we're seeing, and they talked about, you heard Chase talk about this in the podcast. You heard not I Am Athlete, but the Pivot podcast. You heard Denzel Ward and Chase talk about it in the Pivot podcast. Denzel Ward came out and did the same exact thing. Now I did see some stat where Cleveland kind of had Cincinnati's number over the past 4 years. So this is maybe an outlier anomaly for the Bengals. Bengals lost two games last year as well. The first 2 games last year, I think, something like that last year. They sent them going to the playoffs. But the Browns, I think Kevin Stefanski, whoever the coach name is, he came in with a good game plan. The defense for the game was a lot closer than we thought it was going to be, but it was a really good showing for the Cleveland Browns. On the other end, the Bengals, this is not how you want to start, especially a division game. You want to come on and you lose. Okay, you lose, but don't want to lose in this fashion. Joe Burrow looked awful. He threw for 82 yards. He had he's getting the highest paid quarterback through for 82 yards. Now I know y'all love Joe Burrow. I like Joe Burrow. He's an LSU guy, SEC guy. I like Joe Burrow. But you guys got to stop making excuses for him. Regardless of the situation, you don't go out there in an opening and throw for 82 yards. You don't do that. He didn't throw a pick, but 82 yards, that is awful. And I've been saying this for the past 2 years. For Joe Burrow to get better, he has to call his own protections. He has to understand the defensive front. Everything can't be a jump ball or long ball. This is not LSU. Teams year over year are going to understand and have more film with you. It's going to get tougher for you to be better. 14 for 31, 2 sacks, 82 yards. Right? T. Higgins had 8 targets and 0 catches. T. Higgins had 8 targets, 0 catches. This guy's trying to get a contract this year. That's not how you want to show up. Jamar Chase, 9 targets, 5 catches, 39 yards. His long, 12 yards. Teams are understanding that. Now, this secondary for Cleveland is solid. But if they take this recipe and say, you know what? Excuse me. Take this recipe and say, you know what? All Joe Burrow can do is throw deep. Right? Joe Burrow, I mean, you got to have a better showing. You cannot go out and show and play like this. I'm gonna say this again, and people may hate me this. Jamar Chase is still adolescent. Jamar Chase is still adolescent in his route tree. He has to develop as a route runner. Everything can't be a slant or a go. Everything can't be a stop. He has to be better at finding spots in the zone. He has to be better at understanding how the defense moves and shifts. He has to be better at finding new ways to get open in man coverage rather than just try to outrun him and jump and have a jump ball. It's not working anymore. Jamar Chase has to mature as a route runner if he wants to be truly effective as an elite receiver in this league. Hands down. And it's not happening. Tyler Boyd, 2 for 10. This is ideally the best trio of receivers that people are talking about in the league, and this is what they do? Listen, Zach Taylor, I understand y'all lost a couple of games last year. This is not how you want to start off with. You played a solid team. I think that's going to make a deep playoff run in the Cleveland Browns. But this is, this is not the showing that you want. You may lose, but this is not showing that you want for the highest paid quarterback, and ideally, the team that you all say that's going to be in the Super Bowl. That's awful. Bengals have to get better. They have to get better if they want to contend in this league. And that 82 yards is not better. Just saying.